Baller Friday featuring Uniqo Williams with no Uniqo Williams today. Shout out to him. He's on vacation doing his thing. Shout out to my guy Uniqo. He might join. I don't know though. I don't think so. So you are left with the man himself, the man who looks cute, who looks clean and looks sexy. It is your boy Live for Zelmay. And of course, like I said again, it's Baller Friday. And of course, I still got to give y'all these picks. With or without my partner, we have to get it done. But I want to ask you something. Are you doing good today? Is everything great? I hope your life is doing good. Even if it's not, we're manifesting. We're manifesting the blessings the rest of 2023. I can't wait to see you blessed. And you know what we always do? We create narratives all 2023. Trevor Lawrence is gonna choke again. That's a random narrative I decided to make. A teaser of what's gonna happen. And again, it is Baller Friday. Also, don't forget to follow the people also on the channel. Oh, we are joined with Munray today. How you
Ah,
doing, Munray?
your boy Monterey Hudson, we on the move. Look like I came on just in time. So, I got a little time when we can get into some divisional matchups. Your boy Monterey Hudson, aka Mr. Inrust We Trust next year. How we doing today?
Yeah, I was just getting through all the things, telling them who they can follow. You can follow Kid Creative Player on this channel. You can follow, I mean, not on this channel. You can follow him on social media. You can follow BMT, Business Minded Talk. He's on there going against the Pick Me Girls right now. He's at war. It's a very interesting fight. You can follow
Jesus.
our guy, Championship Rounds. Shout out to him. He's doing boxing. He talked this. We gonna do some boxing real soon. We got some fights coming up that I'm really interested in. So me and Championship Rounds gonna get that in, along with Melody C and probably Trey Milton and a few other of the boxing channels that I should probably be more networking with people are, but I was networking a long time ago with boxing. So from me doing that interviews with boxing coaches. So I got a lot of networks on YouTube with boxing. And of course, go follow Blurred Cartel, where you can also find Monray. So go follow those guys right there.
I
And we
be
got,
everywhere.
yeah. Monray, introduce yourself. Tell them what to expect.
I mean, it's your boy Monterey Hudson. Everywhere it says Monterey Hudson on Facebook, Instagram, especially on TikTok. Come look around and see what I got to say. Speak about a little bit of everything from podcasts to sports to anime. We got a little something for everybody. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow for Make It Make Sense, a combination show. Blur Cartel featuring Overall 99 Media and whoever else decides to swing through. We've already had, just a crazy week from golden showers to, ban from Snapchat. Shout out to the GGC Mafia. We will be representing tomorrow. Come here. The trending talks of all week. Unico Williams is wanted mugshot, things like that.
Yeah. And everybody know how this show go. We're gonna get into it. It ain't gonna be that long today. Less games, so that means the show won't be as long. We're gonna go over the 4 divisional games. And that's about it. We're gonna keep this show real short. And of course, we gotta put up the first game, of course. Let me
Uh,
stop this. I don't feel like I don't need this getting copyrighted. Let me pause this. No, that's but Jacksonville Jaguars, Kansas City Chiefs, 4:30 on NBC. The Chiefs are a 9-point favorite. Y'all know we also do bets on the channel, so that's what we do. So this is CBS. Shout out to CBS Sports for giving us the line for this week. I think it's 8.59. So Monray, Kansas City, Jacksonville. Who wins? And should we take the 9 points with the Chiefs or not?
Now, I'm in agreement that I think the Chiefs win, but it's not because I believe it's such a lopsided matchup. Like, the odds make you think. Like, I think a 9 point swing, even with the initial, inexperience of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they haven't been at this spot since Blake Bortles and the debauchery of the Patriot game, in the AFC Championship for quite a few years back. They haven't been in this kind of situation since then. I get that. But they're with a good chunk of momentum after, the wonderful second half they had of the last game. They're able to score, which is something that people have to realize when it comes to the Chiefs defense. On paper, yeah, the Chiefs defense seems to be highly rated, but teams can score on them, and they do have offensive weapons that can do it. So if the Jacksonville Jaguars don't get in their own way, like, unless it's like a horrible 4 or 5 interception half again, which I just generally don't expect that out of most quarterbacks. So I don't expect that. I feel like Doug Peterson, like I said last week, not on this channel, But like I said last week, Doug Peterson would keep their heads on. You know, he is a Super Bowl winning coach. He would keep the juniors' heads on, keep them focused. And I feel like the same thing will happen again. I don't think it's like it's not something new that just because they lopsidedly won with a 38-point swing last week that all of a sudden they're just gonna get blown out. Now they could get blown out. They are going to Arrowhead, which is one of the more difficult places to have to play in. That's true. But the Chiefs can be had. Their defense is definitely more bend, don't break. They can be had. Their wide receivers are questionable, just like they've been this entire year. And they're going to rely a lot on Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes not making mistakes and things of that nature. So if the Jacksonville Jaguars keep the game close, which they very well can, then it's I think it'll be a competitive ball game. I'm not really feeling the whole blowout thing unless the Jaguars get in their own way again. Now that's very possible. They could just get in their own way. Few interceptions by the Prince who was promised. Shout out to Nick Wright. And all of a sudden we're looking at a 21-3, 24-3 deficit. Midway through the second quarter, that could easily happen. But this is also the game I feel as though out of all four of the matchups probably has the biggest likelihood of possibly becoming the shootout. So that's why I'm not really buying the 9-point swing unless you really believe the Jacksonville Jaguars will get in their own way again. And even if they do, you believe they can't come back at all. And to me, the Chiefs, though they have had a dominating record, quote unquote, they've never really seemed like the dominating team this entire year. Like when they played like the really good teams, they were beaten. Whether they were close or not, they were still beaten. And most of the other schedule, when you look at their schedule back in hindsight, has been relatively. So it's not. I don't really see the Chiefs being such a dominating force, especially in playoff matchups. And then they're coming off a bye, so they may have a little bit of rust themselves coming off a bye. They've been chilling for a week. So I'm not really buying the 9-point swing unless, like I said, you really believe the Jaguars will get in their own way. Now, if you believe the Jaguars will get in their own way, then yeah, the Chiefs are just gonna like walk the park and they'll be like a 40-17 win. That'll be something like that. But if you don't believe they'll get in their own way and the Chiefs might start off a little slow, this could easily be a score similar to last week. Field goal at the end or a touchdown drive needed to take the league at the end and something of that nature. Very easily could happen that way. Because when you're playing with house money, which is what the Jaguars are doing, they don't have any expectations. They don't have any pressure or anything of the sort. So it's a whole nother can of worms of when you just go into house money and it don't really matter what you do, your season's already a success. So
True. Last week, I basically made y'all a lot of money unless it was with the Jaguars, in which the only game I lost, even on my bet, on the best odds that I told you, was Jacksonville. Thanks to a ridiculous comeback in which people are now putting images of Matt Ryan over Justin Herbert's face, Monte. I saw so many memes of that, like, oh, he just Matt Ryan, except for younger. But let me be hard headed and do it again. I am going with the Chiefs, and I'm going by they winning by 10. Why? Because I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, and they just like the people, the women that BMT goes against. They're saying, "Pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me." You are right. Everything you believe is right. You said early in the season, Zalmay, that Patrick Mahomes is going to win the division because he's Patrick Mahomes. Pick me. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna pick him. I'm gonna pick him. Just per the things I'm picking them. But the only reason I'm picking them is because I think at the end of the game, pressure on young team in a bad situation, probably down 7, make a mistake, they kick a field goal, keep the lead out of hand, and that's how it goes. And they win by 10. That's how I'm going with it. Let's see if Jacksonville for another week ruined my picks. Chiefs did play well in the second half championship round. Shout out to championship rounds. As I told y'all earlier, go follow my guy championship rounds. Me and him, like I said, we gotta do that Garcia Davis fight. We gotta talk about Lomachenko and Devin Haney. I call Devin Haney pillow hands. I call him pillow hands. He's an elite level boxer, but them hands still pillow. so that's how I'm going. I'm going with the Chiefs. I got to. I've been going with them all season. Will Jacksonville prove me wrong one more time? As y'all see the money line, The money line pretty high, 52 point. They saying it's gonna be a 52-point score, so they expecting a high scoring game. This is this game worth betting on for? Honestly, according to money, it's not really worth betting on.
The only reason you bet on this game is if like
You think Jacksonville will win?
Jacksonville Jaguars. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think nobody really doubts that the like this. I don't really think nobody doubts the Chiefs will score like 20 points. I think nobody doubts it. What this comes down to, whether it be betting wise or swing wise, or what do you think? Do you think the Jacksonville Jaguars will actually be able to produce and not, be in a 30-point hole and have to, make it? But
Monte got kicked out. He's on the move, so shout out to him. But he's back. Okay.
Dang it. I don't know what happened to that. Can I be heard?
Yeah, you heard now. It's I think you were in a bad area for a little bit.
Probably. It's like I said, it's just come to believe in the Jaguars. Like, do you buy if you buy the Jaguars, if you buy that they'll be able to go down the field and score? Because like I said, the money line is like 52 points. So you just got to look at it like, do I think the Jacksonville Jaguars can score 21 points? Because nobody really doubts that the Chiefs will score 30. I think nobody really thinks that the Jacksonville Jaguars corners and the actual defensive line are actually going to be able to stop and put pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Like I don't think nobody really believes that. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't either. Like I haven't seen really them just have a significant pass rush when they were making their comeback last week. It was just more of like the Chargers' mistakes and ineptitude at every facet of the freaking ball that led to that comeback. But it's just like, I don't see the Chiefs making them kind of mistakes. I don't really. They have to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, which I haven't really seen them do on a consistent basis either. And I just got to be on the mindset of, do I think the Jacksonville Jaguars can score 21 points? Because like if I give the Chiefs 30, then to get your money line, you got to think that the Jaguars can score at least 21, if not 24. That's to just get close to or be able to make your money line. And that's what you believe. Do you think Trevor Lawrence and the crew can go in Arrowhead and score 24 points? If you think that, and I'm not saying right or wrong, I'm saying if you think that, then you bet over. If you think that Jacksonville is going to get relatively stomped, you don't bet that line, you bet the under. Because I think the Chiefs, they don't mind cruising with 30, 32, 35 points and just not doing anything else for the rest of the game. They don't mind doing it.
Yeah. One thing they cannot do is do what they did last week. Patrick Mahomes is not just a Herbert. He is not going to miss Keenan Allen wide open in the end zone by throwing the ball too high. That is not going to happen. That's the first game of the day. The second game, the night game, my Philadelphia Eagles versus the New York Giants. Everybody know I love the Eagles. Why? Because of Donovan McNabb and Allen Iverson back in the day. I just rooted for Philadelphia because they looked like they were for black people. So I was rooting for them when I'm younger. And finally, they back with another black quarterback. The spread is a horrible spread. I'm gonna go ahead and just go mind them. I'm gonna give it to Monterey. Philadelphia Eagles, they got negative 7.5 money line. I think that's a horrible money line. This is a 3 or 4 point game to me, guaranteed. I mean, the spread is, the money line is of Eagles negative 365. Not a really. It's a pretty decent. And they said overall score 48 points on Fox tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern. I'm going with the Eagles to win, but Daniel Jones has came alive the second half of the season. They have a great coach. They are motivated. I think AJ Brown too much. That the receiver core, Jalen Hurts running is too strong, but Saquon Barkley is actually healthy. Daniel Jones looks decent. The Eagles are very injured. I think Lane is hurt, the left tackle. So they are hurt. But I think they'll pull it out. But I'm not going with this money line Monte. I'm not going with this spread. 7.5 is too much. I think they'll win by 3 or 4. Monte.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, I don't need y'all jumping me for what I'm about to say, but I do believe that out of the 4 games, this might be the one where you could pick an upset. Now, the reason I say this, now, I'm still seeing reports of Jalen Hurts playing with a bit of a strained shoulder. So I'm still seeing reports that he's not necessarily 100%. That's one thing. Two, when they did play the Eagles in Week 18, if I remember correctly. I mean, yeah, the Giants didn't have any of their starters in the game. They pulled all of their starters, and even when they pulled all of their starters, and the Eagles needed to win the game to get the number one seed, the game was still close at halftime. This is literally when the Giants don't really care about the game at all, pulled every starter, and still was able to be relatively competitive. Now it's true that Jalen Hurts is coming off of injury, playing for the first time, got to work off the rust. But the fact that the Giants were able to keep that competitive proof just shows like a lot of good coaching in that team. Because Brian Dable, I give him props. He is to me the coach of the year for what he's been able to turn around a 4-12, 4-13 team with Daniel Jones, somebody that a lot of people weren't even looking at as a backup in some instances, and it's turned him into a 300-yard throwing quarterback in a playoff game against the Vikings, who were a 12-win team, though the Vikings were a bit fraudulent with that still. So, and I mean, they hit on all cylinders last week. They look like a force. They have a defensive front. They have a run game they can depend on, and they actually are like getting hot at the right time, which makes the Giants a very dangerous team that you don't want to go against right now at this current moment. And if you're the Eagles, you're at home. You have massive pressure on you. Like it's arguable because Jalen Hurts has to redeem himself from the ugliness of the last year loss to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, when he basically got embarrassed. Not only does he have to redeem that, he is the number one seed in the entire NFL. Well, the number one seed in the NFC at least. He's the number one seed. The Eagles are basically the betting favorites to win the Super Bowl, at least top three. And it's massive pressure on them to deliver and not go out. And then they're playing a divisional opponent, which your divisional opponent is better than any other opponents. They've already played each other twice. And like you're saying, there's injuries on the Eagles front, whether it be to their quarterback, whether it be their left tackle. This has a chance of being an upset. This does. I don't think it's super high if the Eagles just come out and be able to dominate, but you could make an argument that if this was the line you wanted to swing a big payday for to try to get this upset, you could buy this, because I was of the mindset last week that the Giants could win the game last week simply because the Vikings defense was completely troublesome. And lo and behold, the Vikings gave up 30. So the Giants have no reason to do anything different. Depend on Saquon Barkley. Let Daniel Jones and this running ability help carry you through some crucial first downs, keep the game low scoring, keep the game close. I would like 42 points. I actually think that's a bit low. I do think that the game might be, 27, 23, something of that nature. Like I'm not really seeing a high scoring game, because they're not really gonna. Neither team really wants to play that way. Like I understand that the Eagles have two great wide receivers, but they don't really want to just have to sling the ball 40 times, because that's how they've gotten upset in some of these debaucherous scores earlier in the season when they were playing the Lions and other teams. They don't really want to do that. They want to be dominating. They want to be able to double down on the running game, which makes these teams identical to each other. It's just the Eagles have better wide receivers. So I could see this game being an upset, especially if Jalen Hurts is really a bit hampered like he wants to. That could have him possibly missing throws. That could have them, their game being a bit off. And this could be ugly. This could be ugly, like, because they're gonna play Smash Mouth. This is gonna be a game that they're not gonna be finesse. There's gonna be some hits. There's gonna be some takedowns, and it's gonna be running everywhere. It might be a grind, and if it's that kind of game, the Giants might pull off the biggest upset in the entire playoffs, possibly, other than unless the Jacksonville Jaguars actually beat the Chiefs. So, but I'm going to pick the Eagles because on paper the Eagles just have a better overall team. But Brian Dable has shown that he can get the job done. He can coach. He can get the most out of his team. They believe, they're hot. And that's the most dangerous thing in the playoffs, is when your team gets hot and healthy at the same time. So I'm going to pick the Eagles. I'm going to pick the Eagles in a close one. I don't really think this is going to be no blowout unless, Jalen Hurts just explodes. I don't really see this being that much of a blowout necessarily. See it like 27-24, 27-23, something of that nature. And, the Eagles managed to slip away at the last instance. And, maybe old Daniel Jones just happens to come back. Well, that. But if not, this is going to get ugly.
So by Caesar Sportsbook, you're telling us to go with the um Giants on the spread, and also on the other spread, the Jacksonville Jaguar. I'll just make sure, Monte.
Yeah, like no, because the Jaguars, yeah, like even if it's garbage time, I can see them scoring 20 points. I can see because, like I said, the Chiefs defense, I'm not a believer. Like I can see them scoring 20 points, even in garbage time or something similar. Outside of that, you know,
Oh yeah, I'm just going
that
off the
game really.
spread, and I'm just going off the spread, not the money line. I'm just going off the spread
Oh
on
yeah,
the
go
seven and a
ahead.
half, the 8, the 9, and so it's gonna be less than that.
Yeah,
I feel you. I feel you. Oh, he didn't. Monte out again. He'll be back shortly. My man on the road. So. All right, Monte's back. Monte, we have the Cincinnati and Buffalo Bills. There's also a side little thing that's going on right now. Joe Mixon, 75 yards, receiving and rushing. They having bets on that, but they have Buffalo winning by 5.5, meaning Cincinnati would have to win by a touchdown. I mean, Buffalo would have to win by a touchdown, and Buffalo win by a field goal. You should pick Cincinnati. Buffalo -4 was the open. Now it's -5.5. Monte, how you feel about Buffalo at Cincinnati? I mean,
now,
Cincinnati at Buffalo. Even though this game should probably be at a like another location, but I don't know what I don't know what the NFL
well,
did there.
only if you make it to the AFC Championship game. This one, you're not gonna really argue about this one
But if
necessarily.
Cincinnati would have beat them in that game, they would have had the second seed. But the game got canceled.
Yeah, but I mean,
But that's
here's
kind
what
of
it is.
unfair because we was up. If I'm Cincinnati, I'm arguing that we was up. So
Yeah, but the problem with it, like, go back to the same thing. The problem with it is that they were up, but there's only been like 5 minutes in the game. There literally was just
yeah,
not enough gameplay to do a decisive victory in any form. There's only 5 minutes went by. Like
yeah.
I remember hearing that argument, but it's like it's just not enough time. Y'all ain't even made it through a full quarter, even half a quarter.
But
So
I would still been like, if we won, we would have got that. Like, can
yeah,
we not get a neutral?
yeah, it was like if we won, just like Buffalo could have said, they might have won. It's just not enough time.
Yeah, true. But
But
Buffalo still get that home court against. I mean, they get neutral field if they plays what's name. But back to the
both of them do, like them Bengals or Buffalo. They all will get neutral field. So the thing about it that I will say about this game that I do think Buffalo has a pretty good advantage is because Buffalo is used to playing in a colder climate. Cincinnati isn't. So like that does favor Buffalo on this home field. Is just the simple fact that they do have that cold climate advantage to them. That's one thing that I would give them that, which is why I think the line is 5.5 because the teams aren't that lopsided. They're not even close to being that kind of lopsided. The only thing about it is just Buffalo has that advantage of just the cold area that they're in. So that they typically give them that.
38 in the
So
snow. That's what the temperature gonna be.
I don't know. If it snows, that's gonna be rough for that. I think that's gonna be more rough on Cincinnati. Like nobody's really used to playing in snow other than the team itself. Now, of course, we do know from past tense, like the freaking Green Bay Packers last year, that just because your team is built to play in snow or used to, it don't necessarily mean you're going to produce in it. But Buffalo has been tried and tested in these kind of games more so than Cincinnati has, and we've seen Cincinnati struggle in cold climate games, like when they played New England a few weeks back. They struggled in that game. So we've seen them struggle sometimes in cold climates. If they can't get that kind of rhythm going, if the receivers can't get off that kind of speed, then we've seen them struggle a bit. Just I don't know if Buffalo has the run game. They have a run game through their quarterback, which isn't the best idea. But I don't. Even though this game should be like relatively high scoring and everything, it being the snowy temperature, I just see the teams trying to just get out the best way they can. So I think points are going to be a rarity. They're going to be something that we want. What's the total point score this they got on there?
49 point.
Shoot, I might go the under. Like I literally might go the under. Like cold climate games are just rarely ever super high scoring. unless a team just blows somebody out. It's just normally never super high scoring, even with two talented teams as this. Which, boy, I feel for these two teams. It's hard for me to just believe that both of them just gonna go off for like 27 points apiece. Like in regular concerns, sure. Cold, snowy, man. Phew. Combine that with some of the emotion in this game as well, man. It's gonna be something to see. I would just say I'm gonna go with the home team that's used to the cold weather temperatures. I'm gonna go with them. It's a bit of a run back game, not a rematch. It's a run back game. One's used to the cold temperatures more. I'm gonna go with that. And plus, if I look at and the other part, if we take in the history of what just happened in their two games, Cincinnati struggled with a team that had a backup quarterback and no good wide receivers, and they managed to skimp away in that game. Now, yes, that was a divisional matchup, but they managed to.
Buffalo had the same problem with a third string quarterback.
I say they managed to skimp away in that game, and then I got a third string quarterback. They fought for about 3 quarters, but then Buffalo went ahead and pulled away at the end. So it's like, okay, at least Buffalo adjusted. The Bengals, I don't really see how they should have struggled with the Ravens at all. The Ravens had struggled to put up points ever since Tyler Huntley got inserted when Lamar Jackson's injury. They had struggled to put up points the entirety of the thing and still only lost by 7.
Christian
Versus
Thompson
you
was
can make the
bad, Monte.
argument.
He was terrible in that game.
Like, and you can make the argument of like, okay, well, the Dolphins,
They were
backup
terrible.
quarterback, but you don't know what he looks like, so you don't know what they're gonna do necessarily, and they just got taken off by the surprise factor. Okay, fine, and you can go with that route. Either way, and it's not like the
I was disappointed in
Dolphins
both of these
have.
teams last week, by the way.
And it's not like the Dolphins have bad wide receivers; they have amazing wide receivers. So it's not as surprising for me to see the Bills struggling a little bit with the Dolphins, since had more of a surprise factor and a better offense, on paper, versus Tyler Huntley and no wide receivers and just the tight end, and that's about it. And they managed to skimper away off of a fumble in the end zone that's literally swung the game. Because other than that, the Ravens were marching down the field, and they was finna score again up until that fumble that swung the entirety of the game. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think it's gonna be an ugly game. It's in the snow. They're gonna surprise me if they start shooting off for 30 and 40 and 50-yard touchdowns. But I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a grimy game, but I think the Bills do what they've done for probably the last 3 weeks. I think it's gonna be close, and I think the Bills are just gonna be able to pull away at the end. And I actually think I'm gonna give them a touchdown. I think they're gonna be able to pull away at the end and manage to get away from it.
I'm gonna keep this simple. This is tough because I don't know what's going. If they tried DeMar Hamlin out there, the Bills might get a fire under them that we have never seen. And I'm actually
Yeah, the
rooting for him
emotional
to show up.
aspect is important.
Yeah, so I don't. Or they could just be over emotional and Josh Allen make mistakes.
That too.
But I gotta go with who I trust, and I trust that boy Joey Burrow more than I trust Josh Allen. Josh Allen is supremely talented, probably the most talented with Patrick Mahomes. But I have to go. I gotta go with Joe Burrow. It's something about him that just like, listen, this is what I do. This I got my boy Jamar Chase with me. I got 2 other receivers. Monty, I didn't get what you say when they had a side bet on Joe Mixon 75.5 yards receiving and rushing.
I
Did you
buy it.
pick that?
I'd
So
buy it
Monte,
because I think
I
both of
did
these
too. I think they're gonna
because
run the
both of the
ball out.
quarterbacks are going to depend on their run game. It's just the only thing is that Josh Allen is the run game. So hopefully Devin Singletary makes an appearance for the rest of the playoffs. But I can definitely see that just because like they're going to depend a lot on their receivers. I mean, on their running backs to get yardage. Depend a lot on their running backs to make momentum happen. Because trying to run in snow, especially if it snows, it's going to be a lot of run because they're going to depend on their running backs to try to get some pressure off. Move the game, grind down the defense, get warm, a lot of things. So I'm gonna go with I go with it. 75 yards, sure.
Yeah, I'm going with it too. I think he's gonna get it, and that's why I think they're gonna also win because they do got Joe Mixon. at the end of the day. And I think Joe Mixon will be a game changer for him. Especially like we said, the weather says snow, so I'm guessing there probably will be some snow. And the final game of the night, them boys got it again. Them Cowboys got the last game of the week, Sunday at 6:30 Eastern on Fox. 49ers got a 4-point spread on 190 money line. With 46 points scored, they are at San Francisco. The Cowboys have won their first road game since 1993 in the playoffs, I believe. I don't know if that's right. I think that's right. Y'all can let me know in the comments. I think that's the right year because I remember Troy Aikman and Troy Aikman was playing. So that's the last time they won a road game. They finally went on grass, so the Cowboys are hot, but they are playing a ultra talented, supremely talented San Francisco 49er team. Is this the week Brock Purdy looks like Mr. Irrelevant or Ricky against let's be honest, a pretty good secondary and a supreme talent pass rush in Michael Parsons? I'm interested, Monte. Who you got? Monte? I don't know if Monte's still with us. He might be in a bad area. Well, Monte ain't with us.
Well,
I'll tell y'all who I. Oh, Monte, who you got?
I
Dallas
hate it when it
Cowboy
does
for.
that. I hate it when it does that. My bad. But no, the 49ers. Like I don't know why we're sitting here. I'm not going to sit here and gas up the Cowboys in any way, shape, form, and fashion. I won't do it. Like mainly because
I'm selling
we've
y'all
had
on them, man.
we've had questions and concerns about every other away team that we have literally went through in these other three games. And you mean to tell me the one team that has the more questions and concerns combined, probably, whether it be at head coach, quarterback, defense, running back, offense. Like the thing about it, on paper, the Cowboys have as talented of a team, sure, but because they're so adept to laying an egg or throwing or forgetting how to call timeout or forgetting how much time they have on the clock or having an interception in every game prior to the last one or something like that, or their running backs not being on a consistent basis, or their defense not being what their defense should be, for the first half of the season, and yet the second half of the season to the last third, their defense has been all over the place. Like it's a lack of consistency on every facet of the ball that you have to look at the Cowboys and say, well, you're going against a team that's shown nothing but consistency in every facet of the ball for the last 6 weeks. The
10
only the
straight
only time
wins.
that,
10
like
straight
the
wins.
only time the 49ers had difficulty was when they played the Raiders. Which, to be honest, that was a very big surprise, that the fact that it took overtime in that game. But they've had, other than that, they've had consistency for all those weeks. Their offense has been hitting on all cylinders. Brock Purdy hasn't shown any issues. He's even been able to produce in their first playoff game, though. The first half was shaky when Seattle was actually able to keep it up. But after that, second half, they just blew him out the water. I don't have a reason to not trust the 49ers other than Brock Purdy. And everybody is literally hoping that Brock Purdy somehow reverts to what we expect the rookie quarterback to be. Mistakes, interceptions, all that, and he just hasn't showed it. So at this point, I'm going to stop expecting him to show it. And I'm just going to judge them based off of the team that I see. The team that I see has a quarterback that's played better than Jimmy G for the most part, is able to throw, is able to, have a wonderful run game with Christian McCaffrey, who hasn't been injured, knock on wood, in any case, shape, form, or fashion. I'm thankful for that. So they have a run game, a pass catcher out the backfield, multiple good wide receivers on every facet of the ball, all pro on offense and defense. I don't have a reason to pick against them, because the only way the Cowboys can win the game is that the Cowboys have to play like they did last game. But the last team was a very inferior team compared to them. And they can't even afford to miss field goal kicks. That's because that's how we got an entire week, and we're talking about the Cowboys field goal kicker and what they're going to do in field goal kicker, because they know that those points are going to matter. Those field goals, point after touchdown, matters in this game. That lets you know that this game is going to be ugly. It's not going to say ugly, it's going to be tough for the Cowboys. I don't really see the 49ers having a struggle unless the Cowboys defense comes like it did last game. And if it does that and they're able to do what most of the teams weren't, to be fair, like the 49ers, their 6 wins they ratted off weren't against no good competition. It's just this good playoff win shows okay, even against no somewhat better competition or playoff format, Brock Purdy can still produce. So we'll say the Cowboys is going to be the best test that the 49ers are ever going to have when it comes to opposing people on the other side of the ball, offensively, defensively, everything. If the Cowboys bring the game that they brought against Tom Brady and their field goal kicker is able to kick, this mug can go either way. Because on paper, both of them have wonderful things to be happy for. If they're hitting on all cylinders, fine. But I'm picking the 49ers because you have to hope that the Cowboys are going to bring their best game, or you have to hope that the 49ers quarterback just reduces himself to like a Nathan Peterman or something. And it's more likely that the Cowboys don't bring their A game than it is for the 49ers to bring a C game. So just because of that, the likeliness is that the 49ers are just going to win because there's more things that fall in their favor than it does for the Cowboys. So I have to pick them. But to all Cowboys fans, I hope for your sake and all of our sakes that the Cowboys bring that A game, because if they don't, it might be some wholesale changes in Dallas starting Monday morning. It might be some wholesale changes.
I think last week they fought more for their playoff career because that Buccaneers team is not that good. Tom Brady looked old. They couldn't get a running game started. It was just bad. So I think they played for their playoff lives. And I think a lot of people expect them to lose to the 49ers, who are an amazing team. With the only question again is, will Brock Purdy ever revert? Will he? That's the question in this whole game. If you can get him to revert, if Michael Parsons can maybe pressure him, that's if you're a Cowboys fan, that is what you're wishing for right now. Michael Parsons to harass him and he actually looked like a rookie. Because if he don't, if he look like he's been looking, the Cowboys have no chance. And that's the scary thing for them. But if Michael Parsons can harass him all night and make him look like a rookie and get Dak like a little lead that he can feel comfortable with going against Nick Bosa and that amazing defense, he has a 10. Like I said, this game come on to Michael Parsons. The game on Michael Parsons' shoulder to me. I know it sounds crazy. It's on Michael Parsons' shoulder. Because if Michael Parsons can make him like a Ricky, Trayvon Diggs can jump routes. That's just how the game gonna go. It's on Michael Parsons. If he's not the MVP of the game, Cowboy don't win. If he is the MVP, they got a chance. But
Like, I think it's just going to honestly come down to which quarterback makes less mistakes. It's what it comes down to. Because both of their defenses on paper are amazingly good. They both have top 5 defenses across the board. So, like, it comes down to which quarterback makes less mistakes. You have a rookie who got put in 7 games ago, and has looked like the next coming of Joe Montana or something. So you got one, and then you got the other round where it's just like, I have a quarterback who prior to last game had thrown at least one interception in like ever since he came back into the league off of his injury. But last game had like his possibly best game of the season with 5 touchdown passes. So which quarterback do you think makes less mistakes? Whichever one you pick, that's what you go with. Because honestly, it's with him. The Cowboys have less room for error in this game, definitely significantly. They have more room for error less room for error. They have way less room for error because just the 49ers with Jimmy G were able to get to the NFC Championship game last year. So they, even if their quarterback can make a mistake, can still bounce back and, be able to win a game because we've seen it. The Cowboys struggle on that end, and that was against lesser competition, whether it was the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Texans earlier in the season. Well, not even early, like within the last 6 games. Like we've seen, if their quarterback makes a mistake, it's a lot harder for them to capitalize and come back off that mistake and be able to hold off a game. It's harder for them. The 49ers we've seen can do it. So even with that, it comes down to a mistake-free game from either quarterback, because I think points are going to be valuable, not necessarily like a rarity. They're going to be valuable. Just if I can score, It gets some of this monkey off my back. It puts a lot more pressure on the other team, and the crowd in San Fran is going to be rocking. So, whichever quarterback makes less mistakes, their team is going to scamper away with this win.
Does Dak miss Amari Cooper this week? Because let's be honest, if you watched him in the last few years, Amari Cooper is his favorite receiver. Even when CD was the best receiver, Dak just loved Amari Cooper. He did. So
he did love Amari Cooper. This is true. He did love Amari Cooper. But I think this kind of game is better without having an obvious number one target. Now, you do need somebody to be able to, grab the ball out the air. But they do have a couple of receivers that can do it.
CD Lamb, shout out to him.
That's it. They do have somebody that can do that. That's fine. But in this kind of game, you don't need a favorite receiver because the defense is so good that you just need people to be able to get open. You don't need a receiver. I just need you to be able to get open and throw in these lanes because if Noah Brown is open 20 yards downfield, he needs to be able to find him. If Michael Gallup is running up the seam and got a little bit of extra off of that corner, you need to be able to see him. It don't matter if I'm looking for. You don't need to be looking for CD Lamb. It's like you don't need to be looking for Marco. You need to be looking at whoever, whether it's Noah Schwartz with a quick 5-yard slant.
Is Schultz going to play again last week? That was crazy game he had. Schultz was playing insane.
Find who's open, like because this points are going to be valuable. Like it's going to be valuable. That's why that's it. Even everybody even knowing like, bro, your field goal kicker needs to be on it because sometimes y'all might not get past that 40-yard line. I'm gonna need you to make these kicks because I really do believe because you got to remember they lost to the 49ers last year in an embarrassing fashion by forgetting the time on the clock and everything, which is mostly on Dak and the freaking head coach, good old Mark McCarthy. So if you lose twice against the same team and it's in an embarrassing fashion, I'm telling you, it's going to be wholesale changes. It's going to be ugly because it's just, you can't just put all this at the feet of Kellen Moore and be like, okay, we're going to fire Kellen Moore and run it back. It's not easy to say because the 49ers, they own house money because if Brock Purdy continues to look the way they do, they could trade Trey Lance, they could trade Jimmy G and roll onward. So they're not getting hard. They're not getting easier. So this needs to be, at the very least, the Cowboys need to be able to show that they can hang with them. If they get ran out of San Francisco, I don't know what you do. I really don't know what you can do at that point if you get ran out of San Francisco because you got Dak on a massive contract. Your team is as talented as we've seen them in probably the last decade. The defense is probably the best it's been. I don't really know what you do if you get ran out of San Francisco. I don't like it's gonna be wholesale changes, but I don't know what you do. Like so, they can't get ran out of there.
Mate, I'm sorry to cut you. We have breaking news on something that just happened at the Memphis Grizzlies game that I have to cover. We are about to watch this in all its glory. Monte, tell me what your thoughts after this. Here we go. This is my first time watching it too. I just heard about it.
Uh-oh. What's the word? Is that Shannon Sharp?
Shannon Sharp is telling T. Morant that I bet you won't. That for y'all that don't know who T. Morant is, that John Morant's daddy. Shannon Sharp, T. Morant basically said, I'll knock you out. Shannon Sharp said, I bet you won't. That is breaking news.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it more, but I don't make it make sense tomorrow once we learn
more
about it.
Oh my gosh. We got to have a moment. We got to have a blank moment. That's what we got to have. We got to have one of them blank moments today. That's what we're doing. The Grizzlies game with the Lakers. We got to have a blank moment. That's what it is. Oh my gosh. Shannon, we were with you, man. The whole Skip Bayless fiasco, we were with you. Nah, well, dang it.
Yo, the fact that he's talking to John Morant's dad is wild.
That how did you even get to that point?
Not even a fan. It's John Morant's daddy. My man in his blue suit said, I bet you won't. That is a wild. By the way, NBA, you can't even. And y'all want to claim it, y'all can claim it, but that's not y'all video. I'm just saying that's somebody recorded video. So
keep your eyes on Twitter, everybody. We will get updates from Shannon Sharp and possibly even John Moran after the game. because obviously he gonna be like, what just went on. So we will
That
get updates.
happened 18 minutes ago.
We will get updates on Twitter. If not tonight, we'll get it tomorrow. Don't even worry about it.
Boxing expert championship round said, "Shake, Uniqo here. He had to come on this, Joe."
He would come up. He would come up on the Lakers when we talk about the Lakers fiasco. He would come up here. Oh, okay.
Well, we're gonna get Joe's opinion, but first, championship round said Uncle Shay would walk Josh Pops. Uniqo.
I mean,
is it
he
true?
is a former defensive. I mean, he is a former NFL player. So I mean,
we picking who we winning. We being messy, Joe.
Man, he gonna wear his ass out. Oh, Shay just got them Gundam hips now too. This nigga just got an armored core upgrade to his hips. And T Morant, ex-hood nigga, think he about to do something with him. That's all weight room right there too. And don't forget, Shay Sharp used to bring his own lunch to practice every day. Don't play with it, man. Just go on somewhere. Y'all have speculation. Why did this start? T was talking too much shit.
He's a Lakers fan, so they probably made I don't know. It's hard to say. They
got
the box. My favorite.
John Morant gonna score 50 on them sorry freaking Lakers. Man, stop. John ain't finna do that on these Lakers, bro. Man, I bet he will. I'll dunk on you myself. I bet you.
That's the betting odds, Joe. We got the betting odds. My favorite box on Twitter bet online already made a bet. Shannon Sharp is a negative 250. A big lead for my boy Uncle Shay. You know what I'm saying?
Twitter's messy.
And I'm also here to report. I'm calling in from the great state of Texas, and y'all ain't gonna talk bad about my Dallas Cowboys.
Too late for that.
And I just want y'all to know that Dak Prescott, he don't need Armani. He don't need hanging with Mr. Cooper. He don't need him.
Now, Uniqo, I need you to clap twice in the background if you're being held against your will by Dallas Cowboy fans and forced to say that. Like, we will help you. Just clap twice if you're being held against your will.
He might be tied down, but not the way you think he's tied down. He might be happy to be tied down.
Okay. So tomorrow, make it make sense.
We get more information on T. Marie
because I am one-handed at this moment, and I'm not going to say why.
Oh well, we understand. Like just say.
But I did blink. I did blink twice though.
Say Kobe Bryant isn't top 10 if you need help. That's all you got to
say. Kobe, he doesn't hold a candle to the top 10.
Hey, look what they say, okay. Joe. Look at the memes.
Hey, hold on. Put my face up, man. Put my face up. There we go. Calling in from the great state of Dallas. Or not to call it a state.
I just say Texas.
But yeah, man. I was listening the whole way. So yeah, I liked a lot of y'all bets. Man, it's tough to call it. Definitely in regards to everybody. I don't trust no quarterback except Mahomes, maybe a little Joe Burrow, but we all know that Joe Burrow is kind of a one-trick pony in regards to just throw it up to the two people and hope Joe Mixon do something at some point. But other than that, I don't trust none of them. I do expect for Jacksonville to be a surprise as well. A surprise. Put in a surprise game. I don't think they're gonna beat my homeboy, but I definitely think it'll be a surprise game for sure.
By the way, this is 100% not true, but it's funny, so we're gonna do this. I just want y'all to know it's not true. Shannon Sharp spent halftime in the tunnel security. He granted ESPN a brief interview explaining what happened with the Grizzlies. They didn't want this smoke, Dave. They do all that talking and jacking, and I ain't about that jacking. It started with Dylan Brooks. I said he was too small for LeBron. He said, F me. I said, F you back. He started to come at me, and I said, you don't want these problems. And then Jock came out of nowhere talking. He definitely didn't want these problems. Then his dad came, and he obviously didn't want no problem. But I didn't want anything. I wanted anything they had. Don't let these fools Fool you. Shout out to the fake interview.
Okay.
What was real? I did it.
Okay.
Oh man.
Shout
Hey,
out to
spread more misinformation on the internet.
y'all know what the rule is, Joe. It's already written. Create narratives all 2023.
Oh, this is the first homeless person I've seen the whole time we've been here.
Okay,
That's the
hold
first
up.
homeless person I've seen.
We got a little. We got a little more. I don't know. I don't know if I can show this. This is the official NBA game. I don't know if I can show this. Dang.
Oh, that means Joe, if you're being carried against your will in a mysterious van, just say that Kobe is not better than Jeremy Lin.
Here we go.
Because it's gonna be smoke up in here. We got to go. We got to do all this. You want this smoke? Okay, you about to get it. It's about to be a barbecue.
It's about to be a barbecue.
Oh, Skip is probably super duper excited that some smoke is on Shannon now. We're gonna see how he responds. Because I know they're gonna hit Shannon with the most woke nigga stuff of all time. See, Skip ain't say nothing Shay didn't say nothing to Skip, but he quick to fight a brother that looked like him. You already know the think pieces are coming on this all weekend.
By the way, I am editing this and putting this as own video, so that's why we're doing this content right now. Here's another image from not NBA source. I just want y'all to understand because I'm not doing NBA source. Apparently, he's talking to Steven, big dude. I forgot his name.
Steven Adams?
Yeah, Steven Adams. And then now Steven Adams talking to him while he talking to T. Morant. So the whole Grizzlies, you know they're gonna do whip that trick.
Oh my God.
Yeah, shout out to the news. I was light on news this week, and we got some. So shout out to y'all. I'll probably put this on Overall 99 channel. So this is from Overall 99 Sports. So go hit that like and subscribe button over there, and like and subscribe this video.
Hey man, Linsanity. Kobe ain't never had nothing called that.
All right.
If anybody in Texas, just know to help you.
Please
right
reach
now.
out. Look for this man right here. He is in need of assistance, and don't believe anything any of the people around him say. He is in need of assistance. People, please. Hashtag.
Monte, we didn't get your bet before we got here, Monte. Who you had, T. Morant or Shannon Sharp?
Shannon, like what are we talking about?
T. Morant ain't nobody on your side, bro.
This is not
Shannon,
a discussion. This is like not even a discussion. If anybody's taking time to debate that tomorrow or on Monday, I think they need to rethink who's coming up with their topics because something to talk about. Except Shannon himself, he can tell us what T say that got you pissed. They probably talking like two OG niggas, man. You know they both country, so South Carolina and Georgia.
You know what we gotta do, Joe? We create narrative all 2023. I have seen the talk on the Twitter. They are saying now, Uniqo, Williams, Monray, that. These are the words. T. Morant has passed LeVar Ball as the most annoying father in sports.
Okay, I don't know about that one. Off of one argument with Shannon Sharp, I ain't buying it.
No, they talking about, you know how he be on the sideline. I don't know if you watch Memphis game. He always talking trash to players.
Somebody said put 50K on something, and that's when they really got started. You know, when they start playing that big bank, little bank, you already know. I reached out to him after the game. That's what Shay gonna say. I reached out to him after the game. We chopped it up. We got plenty of respect for each other, and then we finished it up with a game of dominoes, like real men.
So that's
and so we know that's what Uniqo Williams feels, you know, but Uniqo Williams is not in his he's not in control of what he says fully. When we all know possibly Shannon Sharp's gonna be like, yeah, y'all already know how it is, man. I tell the truth a little bit and everybody don't like it, but don't worry about it. He ain't gonna sit next to me no more. We're gonna leave it at that.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, shout out to T. Morant. Shout out to Uncle Shay. He ain't gone. He said, "I bet you won't. I bet you won't. I bet you." Hey, he in Memphis too. Why that boy? They run that Mississippi
Hashtag.
song. That's South Haven, but
Oh shit.
it's close enough to Memphis. It's a suburb of Memphis. I bet you with that. I bet you won't, Joe.
All right,
In Memphis. All right,
maybe
but
I don't
that's
get it.
Joe. You want to give your 4 picks real quick before we get out of here? Or are you done?
I'll run it up real quick.
All right. So who you got? Cincinnati. I mean, Kansas City, Jacksonville.
Kansas City in a
9-point
close
spread.
one.
So you got
You want me to
Jacksonville in by points.
I'm gonna just give y'all picks. I can't think about scores right now. I'm thinking about how great that Linsanity round was.
Bet. Eagles, Giants.
Man, Eagles are showing to be vulnerable, man. Let me keep riding the Danny Dimes train.
I thought you were gonna say something wild, but
What?
Cincinnati, Buffalo.
Cincinnati versus who?
Buffalo.
Man, it's the get back game, ain't it?
They finna finish it.
I'm gonna take. Let me see if Josh Allen can make it, man. We need him and Mahomes part 3 or 4, whichever one it is.
The reason why Joe can't focus. And last but definitely not least, probably gonna be the most watched game in NFL playoff history because last week they did the biggest watched game since in 30 years almost. I think since 1999. Cowboys versus 49ers. If you just say those names, I think the game gonna be the most watched game just by those name power. That name power is insane. Joe, who you
got? Coin flip.
This is your show. How you gonna do a coin flip?
Oh man, because I stopped focusing.
Wait, this is why.
Hold on.
This is why Joe can't focus.
Wait, who is? Quit putting my face on this fucking screen.
Look, even championship round said don't do it.
Who? Wait, who? Hey, who?
Well, you know, he's in the great state of Texas, you know, possibly surrounded by amazing fans and other people.
That's why I couldn't focus. That's why I don't remember. They think I'm down here doing this.
Which one is you? You the one at the bottom right?
I'm the one that I tell you. I'm the one that's not pictured because I was the one that found a way to not get caught.
Bet.
What was the game you was talking about, fool? I forgot.
49ers Cowboys, the big.
Oh, man, I got Purdy. I got my boy Purdy.
Shout out to Brock Purdy.
I got Purdy. I got BP out here, cuz.
Shout out to my guy Championship Rounds, man. You'll see him on the channel soon. I'll join him over there. Like I said, we're gonna talk a little boxing. Remember, like and subscribe. All those narratives that we creating all 2023. Like I said, remember to like and subscribe. And Joe, before we get off, you got to do it one time. But before then, I am your host, Zell May. Monray, where can they find you?
This is your boy Monray Hudson, where it says Monray Hudson everywhere. Come find me, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blur Cartel, Overall 99 Media, Broke Ugly Dudes. I am everywhere. I am nowhere. I am the one, the only, the Monray Hudson.
Yeah, follow our main channel, which is Overall 99 Media. We do have Make It Make Sense coming out tomorrow. So be there for that.
And as you can see, it's gonna be toxic already. Whether it's Blueface having babies, Shannon Sharp about to box half the Grizzlies lineup, or Antonio Brown getting banned from Snapchat. You already know this is finna get toxic. So
yeah. No GDC Mafia Sunday. So my boy Hollywood is in California. And you know we gotta end the show with the host of the show. You know you wouldn't host today, but you know, and we gotta put it up. Uniqo,
hey man, I'm the host. I'm the host whether I'm there or not.
Everything's set up for you. Look at it.
Now, UnicoWilliams.com. Don't quite go to it because I got to get some cold crackers to figure out some stuff. They be hating on me. But other than that, you know the deal. UnicoWilliams.com. And yeah, you know the deal.
Joe, you ain't gonna do it. You in the great state of Texas. And what day is it?
Oh, we out here at Legacy West buying all the ladies' drinks because it's Baller Friday. Woo!
Let's go, man. I hope y'all enjoy the quality. We done upgraded the quality for y'all. Yeah, I know y'all can't see it with Monte and me, but you can look at me today. So I'm gonna just put me.
Uniqo Williams, go ahead and just let them know. Go ahead and let them know that Dirk Nowitzki is better than Kobe Bryant. Go ahead and say it, man.
Oh, you can see. We can see Joe. Here.
That's just scared the fuck up. Hey, listen here. I'm so scared of heights, bro. Shit's crazy.
Yo, why you always dress so fresh,
off
bro?
the wrong floor.
Why you dress so fresh for everything but our show?
Man, I'm the freshest nigga on the show.
Every time we know, but every time you come on the show, you be basic. But then every time I see you out, you be dressed like Joe Budden with money.
It's moving too high for me.
Joe, turn it sideways so we can see the whole fit. Oh, let's see. Oh, look, that boy is smooth. High quality.
I just had a little vertigo, man. This damn glass elevator dying down stories high. Shit. Oh yeah, but it's Baller Friday, baby.
Oh, let me put you big screen first. No, we gotta put you big screen. We gotta make you the man. You know what I'm saying? Mac, look at that boy. Baller Friday.
You already know what time it is. Baller Friday.
Nah, we appreciate y'all, man, for watching.